And that's just another thing we could transition into is just
Yeah.
you really need to understand not exactly your reputation, but you need to understand your, like I said, outreach towards other people, because there's going to be some people that you're not really going to be able to get to. And it's better to first spend your time towards the people who are more likely to join you in your collaborative journeys
Yeah.
than to, immediately shoot message towards some like the really, really large outreaching people. And that's just, kind of common sense. Like,
Yeah.
if people get millions of messages every day, they're less likely to see yours. But if you find someone who not only creates similar content to you or has a similar level of dedication, or someone who you're friends with, even like, and you've known them for a while, and you know that they would enjoy this, then always try to shoot them the message first, and then you
Yeah.
your outreach changes as time goes on or whatnot, and eventually there might be someone who you thought you'd never be able to collaborate with, and then you suddenly collaborate them or whatnot. But you really got to understand. You got to pick who you send your invites to.
With all that being said, though, I think you'd be surprised at how, um, like, I don't know, because it kind of goes back to the professionalism, right?
Right.
You can reach out to larger creators if you're a professional.
Oh, definitely.
Obviously, if you send a message or you comment on like PewDiePie's video and you're like, "Hey, do you want to like come on my video?" Like, he's not going to come on there.
Right.
But if you, especially for like maybe the mid-level guy, if you find their email address or their DM, or a lot of people
Right.
have like a contact page or something, or sometimes they have Patreon, so you can contact that through them. And then
Yeah.
you send them a professional message and you say, "Hey, I do this. I would love to do that." I reached out to people who, like for example, I forget his name, but the guy who produces The Truth, which is a one of the most popular fiction podcasts out there. Um, I tweeted at him asking him a question. He responded, and they said, "Hey, would you want to be interviewed for the show?" And he was like, "Yeah, like I would love to do that. Like send in a thing to my contact page."
Right.
Um, Unfortunately, I wasn't able to follow up at that time. I might still try to do that some other time, but that was someone who in my mind, I was never going to be able to really get into. But
Right.
suddenly I have my little following. I'm there. I'm respectful and professional, and that might
Yeah.
be a thing. Um, they might not see it, especially if they have
Right.
tons of messages. But if it's professional, it will. It's not like it's going to hurt you. It's
Right.
not like all of a sudden you pop off later, and then they remember that time that you like told them off because they wouldn't
Yeah.
join your thing or whatever. So be
Right.
professional, be courteous, and reach out to people of all sizes. And
Yeah.
you'd be surprised about the kind of opportunities you can get by doing stuff like that.
Right. And when I was talking about earlier about like spending your time towards people who are more guaranteed to be in your project, I didn't mean you shouldn't like send it to big creators.
But
What I
you
did
can't expect it.
Right.
Like you
Yeah. Yeah.
can't
Don't
expect messages
bank
back.
on like new people coming in, and
Yeah.
specifically because like I can remember a handful of unprofessional messages I shot out to like bigger creators being like, Minecraft series, dude, come on, let's go. Yeah. And naturally no response. But it's not like even then it's, if they don't see my response, it's not like I'm embarrassing myself. So
Yeah.
you should never feel embarrassed for writing a professional message to invite people to your project. And just the
Yeah.
higher the professionalism, or at least clarity in where your professionalism stands, the more likely they will actually accept it. And the thing is, creators are creators at heart. And ultimately, if you're giving them a good creative opportunity, they're gonna at least have some level of interest in it, right?
Oh yeah, especially
So
if they don't have to do all the legwork, right?
right.
It's like for example with this, it's so easy for you to ask me to come on here, and it's so easy for me to say yes because at the end of the day, I'm not the one that has to edit these or
Yeah.
upload the videos or create
Right.
the thumbnails or that
Right.
kind of thing. But my face still gets out there. It's still stuff that I can retweet. It's still stuff that I can
Yeah.
say,
And I
which
think
is
it's
good
fair to
for everybody.
say you also just enjoy talking about this stuff,
Oh, I love
like
talking about this stuff. Like
right.
I
Yeah.
love yeah.
It's a
But
lot of fun.
Yeah, but
Um,
giving people those opportunities, like it
right.
is fun to create this kind of stuff, especially, in the gaming world where it's like, "Oh, you're playing video games. That's awesome. That's fun."
Yeah.
Like, let's do it.
Yeah. A while back I used to do some channel interviews where I would take channels
Mm,
that were I don't want to say big channels or small channels, but I took channels that had a relatively bigger outreach than mine,
mhm,
and brought them on for interviews and asked them about like different things. At the time, I didn't really have a proper creative mindset when I was going about it. I was admittedly just trying to see how big of a fish I could catch to literally do an interview, and I didn't really like that mindset, which is why I stopped doing it.
yeah,
However, I'm now planning on bringing that back possibly in some future Pat's Creative Podcasts. There might be episodes where I have some relatively larger creators, specifically talking about creation and stuff like this, but in more of an interview style. So if that excites you, then hopefully that excites you. I don't know. But either way, the thing is, like, I'm pretty confident I can get 1 or 2 people out here because this is a genuinely interesting collaborative project, at least to that demographic or whatnot. So just never be ashamed for at least asking. You know, the only thing you do is waste a couple minutes of typing out a message. But just be careful with your message. Don't treat your message as just a regular like hi or whatnot or hello. You gotta actually put in the legwork and show that you're willing to put in the legwork so that you know they know that you're willing to carry the project for them. And
and be polite and recognize that everybody has better things to do than message you.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
As horrible as it might sound, it's like
and don't take it personally. You know, not everybody's gonna work with you. That's fine. There's plenty of fish in the sea. You know.
Yeah, it's like you are asking for people's time. Be polite, be respectful, be professional. Worst case scenario, they don't respond or they respond meanly, and then you just move on to the next one. That's fine. As long as you're professional and nice, like you didn't do anything wrong.
You're gonna get a million mean messages online. You can't get hung up over one, you know? You gotta move on. You're gonna get mean messages, you know?
Welcome to the internet.
Welcome to the internet. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Hey there. You just watched a clip from my creative podcast. If you'd like to check out the full episode, you can support me over on Patreon, and if not, you can subscribe to check out more clips coming here soon.